The shocking headline became true in the life of Emily. Millionaire's husband buried a simple little girl alive. Years later, her return was unbelievable. Emily was that girl, an innocent soul from a poor family who had trusted the wrong people. Years ago, the wife of a wealthy businessman showed kindness to Emily, offering her food, shelter, and care. But behind that kindness, her cruel husband saw Emily as a burden, out of greed and pride. He did something unthinkable. He buried her alive one stormy night, believing no one would ever know. Yet fate had a plan. Emily's story didn't end in that grave. Emily was just 10 when it happened. Her laughter echoed like sunshine, even in hardship. And that's what made the millionaire's wife love her. But jealousy and anger grew inside the man of the house. To him, Emily was a nobody, a child who didn't belong in their mansion. That night, while the wife was away, he tricked Emily into following him to the back garden. With chilling cruelty, he pushed her into a deep pit, covered her with soil, and left her to die. The earth pressed down, stealing her breath, but somehow she didn't lose her spirit. Unknown to the millionaire, a poor gardener nearby heard muffled cries. Afraid of losing his job, he didn't dare to speak the truth. But his heart couldn't ignore the sound of a child fighting for life. He returned secretly after midnight, digging frantically with his bare hands until he found Emily gasping, unconscious but alive. He carried her far away, hiding her identity to protect her from danger. That night, Emily's old life ended, and a new journey began, one full of pain, survival, and resilience. The gardener's family raised Emily in secret. They moved to a distant town, gave her a new name, and told her never to speak about her past. Emily grew up carrying scars of betrayal, but also a determination to rise above. She worked tirelessly in school, driven by a silent promise: one day, the world would know the truth. She never forgot the suffocating soil, the cold cruelty of the man who tried to erase her, or the tears of the kind woman who had unknowingly loved her like a daughter. Years passed, and Emily transformed into a confident, educated woman. She studied law, determined to fight for justice for children like her who were voiceless. Life was not easy. She worked nights, lived in small rented rooms, and often went hungry. But the memory of betrayal fueled her. "If I survive death, then I can survive anything," she often told herself. Slowly, she built a reputation as a lawyer who fought against exploitation and injustice, winning hearts with her fearless advocacy. Meanwhile, the millionaire's life crumbled. His empire, once built on arrogance, began to fall apart due to fraud and scandals. His wife grew distant, broken by his lies and cruelty. She often remembered Emily, the little girl who had vanished mysteriously, and guilt haunted her nights. Rumors spread in society about what truly happened to Emily, but no one had proof. The truth was buried, just like the girl had once been. But fate was preparing for Emily's grand return. One day, Emily stood in court, defending a child who had been mistreated by her foster family. As she passionately argued, her words caught the attention of journalists. "This young lawyer speaks as if she has lived the pain herself," they whispered. Her story began to circulate, though she had never revealed her real past. And then came the day, an unexpected lawsuit against the fallen. Millionaire brought Emily face to face with the man who had once buried her alive. When Emily entered the courtroom, the millionaire's eyes widened. He froze, his face pale as if he had seen a ghost. He had believed Emily died that night. Yet here she stood, alive, strong, and fearless. His hands trembled as she confidently introduced herself as the defense lawyer. "My name is Emily Carter," she said firmly. The entire courtroom buzzed with shock. The man who had buried her alive now sat powerless, exposed before the world. Emily didn't reveal her secret immediately. Instead, she let the trial unfold, gathering evidence against him. But her presence alone was punishment enough. Every time she spoke, his guilt burned deeper. The wife, sitting in the gallery, burst into tears when she realized who Emily truly was. "It's her. It's the girl," she whispered. Emily looked at her with eyes full of both pain and forgiveness. But she had one goal: to make sure justice was finally served. During the final hearing, Emily stood tall, her voice echoing through the silent courtroom. Years ago, this man tried to silence a child forever. That child was me. I was buried alive, but I survived. And today, I stand before you not as his victim, but as proof that truth cannot be buried. Gasps filled the hall. The millionaire's empire, pride and lies, shattered in a single moment. His crimes were exposed not just in court, but in every newspaper headline. The judge declared him guilty, sentencing him to years in prison. The wife wept bitterly, torn between love and betrayal. She approached Emily after the trial, falling to her knees. "I am sorry. I never knew what he did," she cried. Emily lifted her gently, whispering, "You were the only one who showed me kindness. For that, I can forgive you." Their embrace became a symbol of hope, that even in betrayal, humanity could still survive. Emily's unbelievable return became a global story. People from across the country wrote letters, calling her an inspiration. Children who had suffered in silence saw her as their voice. She was invited to speak at universities, share her story at conferences, and fight for stronger laws to protect children. Every time she spoke, people listened in awe. How could a girl who was once buried, alive, rise with such strength? But Emily never let fame change her. She still visited the gardener's grave, the man who had saved her when no one else dared. She laid flowers, whispering, "Because of you, I lived. Because of you, I could fight." She supported his family, ensuring they never suffered the poverty he once endured. To Emily, gratitude was more valuable than all the wealth and recognition in the world. Years later, Emily built an organization named Unburied Dreams, dedicated to rescuing and educating abandoned children. Her mission was clear: no child should ever feel unwanted, voiceless, or betrayed. The world saw her as a warrior, but she saw herself as simply a survivor, proof that resilience could transform tragedy into triumph. People admired her not just for surviving, but for turning her pain into a light for others. The story of Emily's survival spread like wildfire. People commented, cried, and shared, unable to believe how a little girl once buried, alive, could return with such unstoppable strength. But Emily never sought revenge. She sought justice. Her return was not just unbelievable, it was miraculous. She became a living reminder that cruelty may bury innocence for a while, but truth always finds its way back to the surface, stronger than ever before.